everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. Today is Vlogmas Day 4. If you're new here, hi, I'm Maddie. I'm a K-5 STEM teacher and ed tech coach in Los Angeles. I post weekly tech tutorials for teachers, and I'm doing one every single day in the month of December up until Christmas. Yeah! So today's video is going to be all about how to conduct a holiday themed morning meeting. So we're going to talk about Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas, and what's nice about this video is I think that it really gives you some ideas on how you can actually incorporate these holidays that our students are celebrating into morning meeting, which, as we know, morning meeting is such a great time to incorporate classroom community, to celebrate our students. And so I think that morning meeting can just be a really fun way to incorporate the holidays that our kids care about during morning meeting. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first holiday morning meeting that we're going to take a look at is Hanukkah. Now the first day of Hanukkah falls on a Thursday in 2020. So I've decided to create this Thursday greeting slide. If you've watched some of my morning meeting videos before, you know that I like to have this greeting slide with the day of the week that sort of sets the tone for morning meeting as students enter class. So if you're teaching in person, this is something that you can include. You can project this on your board, for example, or if you're teaching online, this is something that you can screen share while you wait for students to enter your Zoom or your Google Meet room, for example. Then next we have our greeting slide. So here I've just written an example of something to sort of help guide you on what you could write. So I've written, good morning. Today is the first day of Hanukkah. It is Thursday, December 10th, 2020. Now I might also include some additional details about what morning meeting is going to look like or what the day is going to look like, but I just think that this greeting slide is a nice way to set the tone for morning meeting. Next, we have our morning share. Now, I really like to follow the responsive classroom morning meeting structure. It's something that I think works really well. There's tons of research behind it, and I know a lot of other teachers like responsive classroom as well. So for this morning share slide, basically what I've done is I've written a little brief description about Hanukkah, and then I'm asking students a question at the end for them to actually share their thoughts. So I've written, Hanukkah is a special Jewish holiday that is celebrated for 8 days. It is also called the Festival of Lights. Now, I've only written 2 sentences here. This does not have a lot of depth, but my hope with this is just sort of to guide you on what you might talk about with your students. So I would probably go into much more detail about Hanukkah here, but this is just something to sort of help start your thinking. Next, we have, if you celebrate Hanukkah, what is one of your favorite traditions? If you do not celebrate Hanukkah, what is one of your favorite holiday traditions? Now, what I like about these 2 questions here is that they give students an opportunity to share even if they don't celebrate Hanukkah. So the first question, of course, asks students who celebrate Hanukkah to talk about some of their favorite traditions. I think that this is a really great way for students to actually share their own experience, to talk about the things that their families celebrate. But again, like I said, it does give students an opportunity who don't celebrate Hanukkah to still share about some of their general favorite holiday traditions. Now, next we have the morning activity. Now, again, if you've watched my videos before, you know that I really like interactive and engaging activities during morning meeting. Because I want this to be a learning opportunity for students, I did decide to create a word search for Hanukkah vocabulary. I think that word searches can be a really fun way to introduce new vocabulary words to students. So basically what I've done is I've created this word search filled with Hanukkah vocabulary words. So what students could do is, we could sort of have a conversation together introducing these new words, and students could do the actual word search to find them. Here it is blown up a little bit in case you'd like to take a look. I think if you're teaching in person, this is something that you could print out, right, and give to every single student in your class. But if you are teaching remotely, you can still do this activity. You can actually screen share something like this, screen share the word search, and students can take turns actually finding the words. So for example, you might want to, screen share this, and if you're using Zoom, you could use the annotation feature to have students actually circle the words that they find. Now, next we have the morning message. So this slide here is kind of just like with the greeting slide, meant to be a guide for you. So, you could have students do a math problem. You could have them reflect on something they learned yesterday. You could have them practice their writing skills. But I also think that this morning message is just a really nice way to solidify their learning about Hanukkah. It's a nice way to sort of wrap up the morning meeting with this Hanukkah lens. All right, so now we've moved on to Kwanzaa here. Now, Kwanzaa falls on December 26th, which for my school is during our winter break. So I've decided to put Kwanzaa on a Thursday, the Thursday before winter break in this slides example. Of course, you could put it whenever you feel like makes the most sense for your class. But basically, I've created this greeting slide again that says Thursday. And so then next we move on to this morning greeting. Again, very similar to the Hanukkah section, I say it is Thursday, December 17th, 2020. Now notice that I did not actually say that Kwanzaa falls on December 17th because it does not. It is on December 26th. And so this isn't, I don't want students to be confused and think that this is actually when Kwanzaa is. So I would like to point that out here. Then next we have our morning share. So I say Kwanzaa is a celebration of African American culture that begins on December 26th. The name Kwanzaa comes from the Swahili phrase Matunda ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits of the harvest. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, what is one of your favorite traditions? If you do not celebrate Kwanzaa, what do you want to learn more about? So again, kind of like with the Hanukkah slides, I've given students the opportunity to actually share what their favorite tradition is in Kwanzaa. And if they don't celebrate it, I do want students to be curious and to spend time thinking about what they actually want to learn more about. So just like with Hanukkah, you might want to provide more context to students about Kwanzaa. I just have a couple of sentences here to sort of help you come up with ideas, but you might want to have a deeper conversation about what Kwanzaa actually is. Then next we have the morning activity. Again, another word search to help introduce Kwanzaa vocabulary. Then next, moving on to the morning message. Again, great time for you to sort of wrap up the conversation about Kwanzaa and set the tone for the rest of the day. That's what I love about morning meeting, right? It's a time where the class comes together, in the morning, and then it sort of acts as a launching point for the rest of the day. It's a really great time to support student social emotional needs. Now, next is going to be Christmas. So I put this on Friday. Again, Christmas falls over winter break, but I have chosen to put this on the Friday before the start of winter break here. And now we have good morning. Today is a beautiful winter day. It is Friday, December 18th, 2020. Morning share. Christmas is a holiday commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ on December 25th. If you celebrate Christmas, what is one of your favorite traditions? If you do not celebrate Christmas, what traditions are you interested in? So again, this is just a great opportunity for students who don't celebrate Christmas to actually, think about what they might be interested in learning more about. And then it also gives the students who do celebrate Christmas an opportunity to share their thoughts. Then next we have our activity. Now I've decided to do a coloring activity for Christmas because I know that, Christmas is a holiday that tends to be talked about a lot in the US. And so I wanted just to make this a fun, simple coloring activity for students. So I do have a coloring page here that you could print out for students. Now, if you're teaching remotely, this is actually something that you could share with students through Seesaw. So they could actually spend time, for example, coloring on Seesaw or using some other tech tool that you like to do with your students. Then lastly, we have our morning message that will just set the tone for the rest of the day. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning about some of my ideas for putting on fun holiday themed morning meetings. If you liked this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you guys back here soon. Bye friends.